Have you ever wondered why an octopus might be soaring through the air in the middle of an NHL game? Or why plastic rats sometimes rain down from the stands? Well, my friends, welcome to the wonderfully peculiar side of hockey. A sport renowned not just for its thrilling gameplay, but for its intriguing traditions and unexpected moments. In today's video, we'll cover 10 bizarre things you didn't know about the NHL. Some of these moments will stun you. Without further ado, let's get started. 1. The $1 Man. In the legendary world of hockey, you'll definitely come across Chris Draper, a player whose story is like no other. After being drafted 62nd overall in the 1989 NHL draft by the Winnipeg Jets, Draper's career didn't get off to a hot start, tallying just 3 points in 20 games in his first 3 years with the Jets, while bouncing between the NHL and AHL. He would be traded to the Detroit Red Wings in 1993 for $1. Yes, $1. The team's decision might have raised some eyebrows, but under the guidance of coach Scotty Bowman, Draper's true potential was unveiled. He became a crucial part of the Red Wings' grind line and went to play over 1,000 games in the NHL, including 17 seasons with Detroit. Over those 17 seasons, the Wings made multiple trips to the Stanley Cup Finals, and Draper got his hands on Lord Stanley 4 times. From being bought for a mere $1 to becoming an essential part of the Red Wings dynasty, Draper proved that the dollar was the best money Detroit ever spent. Now, isn't that a story worth remembering? 2. The Hoax. Have you ever heard of Taro Tsujimoto, the legendary hockey player from Japan? Let's travel back to 1974. The Buffalo Sabres manager, Punch Imlach, was tired of the long and slow draft process. When it was time for his 11th round pick, he thought of a hilarious idea. Imlach made up a player named Taro Tsujimoto, who supposedly played for a team in Japan called the Tokyo Katanas. But guess what? Neither Taro or his team were real. However, during that time, NHL was just starting to explore talent from other countries, so nobody questioned it. The Buffalo Sabres officially drafted Taro. Imlach even teased the media by promising that Taro would show up at the team's training camp, but eventually the truth came out, and everyone realized it was all a big joke. The league was shocked and declared Taro's draft pick as invalid. But the story didn't end there. Taro's name lived on. Fans cheered for him, wore jerseys in his name, and he even got his own trading card. Nowadays, such a prank wouldn't be possible because of how closely players are watched. But whenever the draft comes around, people remember the funny story of the made-up player Taro Tsujimoto. 3. The Mighty Ducks. Imagine if Mickey Mouse had a hockey team. Sounds outlandish, right? Yet in 1992, Disney and the National Hockey League shook hands to bring forth a quirky addition to professional ice hockey, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. The seeds were sown by the movie The Mighty Ducks, a now cult classic for hockey fans worldwide. This underdog story hit a home run, making hockey more popular across the United States, especially in sunny California. Then came the real-life Mighty Ducks, a fusion of Disney's enchanting world and the NHL's gritty ice rinks. Not everyone enjoyed this odd combo, yet Disney saw it as a golden marketing opportunity. The Mighty Ducks were more than just a team. They were a dazzling show on ice and a massive merchandising machine. Even after Disney bowed out, selling the team in 2005, the legacy lives on. Today's Anaheim Ducks bear the mark of their Disney heritage, and fans worldwide still huddle for a dose of nostalgia. And that's how Disney gave us a fairy tale on ice, proving sports and entertainment could create a magical combo. Talk about breaking the ice in style. 4. The Batman. Let's go back to the 1975 Stanley Cup Finals. The Sabres were hosting the Philadelphia Flyers in Game 3 on an oddly mild and hot Buffalo day. With no air conditioning in the Memorial Auditorium, an eerie fog shrouded the venue, setting the stage for an extraordinary show. Suddenly, a bat decided to join the action, swooping down over the players throughout the game. Imagine the scene: hockey players ducking and dodging not just the puck, but also a live bat. In a peculiar twist of fate, the bat swooped down once again during a pause in the action. This time, Jim Lorentz, a Sabres player, took the opportunity to swat the bat out of midair with his stick, adding a unique accomplishment to his sports career. That game in 1975 remains etched in history as the only known occurrence of an animal entering the field of play in a hockey game. The Sabres triumphed in overtime with a 5-4 score. Lorentz, well, he walked away with not only his team's win, but with a new nickname, the Batman. 5. The glowing puck. What happens when you mix hockey, technology, and a dash of Hollywood glam? The Fox-Trax puck, of course. In the mid-1990s, there was a typical NHL All-Star game, yet something a bit strange was about to unfold. The game's focus wasn't on the player, it was on the puck, glowing blue and red on the TV screen, zooming around like a comet. Fox-Trax debuted in 1996 and was tagged as a revolutionary concept developed by ETAC, a pioneer in the GPS market. The aim? To attract new hockey fans by making the puck easier to track on TV. Ordinary pucks were sliced, filled with infrared transmitters, a circuit board, and a battery, and then glued back together. The result? A puck that lit up the screen, leaving a trail of light as it moved around the ice. This technological marvel didn't come without its fair share of skepticism. Critics argued it was a gimmick, undermining the sport's authenticity. But there was no denying its impact. It was a spectacle that drew attention and introduced many Americans to hockey. Yet, as with any star, the glow eventually faded. After ABC acquired the NHL's broadcasting rights in 1998, the era of the Fox-Trax puck came to an end. Despite the frosty reception from hockey perfectionists, the Fox-Trax puck left an indelible mark on broadcasting technology. It was a bold, futuristic idea, paving the way for how we view sports today. A glowing reminder of when technology took center ice. 6. Flying objects. A hat trick in the NHL is celebrated by fans tossing their caps on the ice, one of many flying objects seen around the rink. But let's dig a little deeper. Once upon a time, in 1995, the Florida Panthers locker room was a crime scene where Scott Mellanby shot a rat across the floor. That night, Mellanby scored 2 goals in a 4-3 win. And what happened next? Well, plastic rats started raining in the next games as good luck tokens. The Panthers made it to the Stanley Cup final that season. The fanfare led to a regulation change since it was delaying the game. Circling back to 1952, Pete and Jerry Cusimano made octopus flinging a tradition during Detroit Red Wings games. Each tentacle signified a win needed to bring the Stanley Cup home. Detroit's dominant performance in that season made this octopus throwing a legendary custom, still alive today. Now brace yourself. A live chicken once stole the show at a Los Angeles Kings game. Apparently, the angry fan behind this wasn't very pleased with the Kings' performance. Months later, the Kings made a game-changing buy. Wayne Gretzky. Could the chicken have been a feathered omen? We'll never know. Nothing symbolizes their spirit better than an actual shark. A 4-foot leopard shark appeared on the ice in 2007, which puzzled everyone, including security. Then we have the Nashville Predators fans, inspired by the Red Wings octopus tradition. They started hurling catfish onto the ice in 2002. A peculiar choice, you may think, but it caught on and remains a tradition to this day. 7. Roy the Shrimp Waters. Imagine being the shortest player in NHL history and still making your mark. That's the story of Roy Shrimp Waters, a 5-foot 3-inch goaltending legend who recorded 66 shutouts in his 12-season career. But let's rewind and take it from the top. Before making waves in the NHL, Waters honed his skills in the amateur leagues. His prowess led the Pittsburgh Yellow Jackets to back-to-back championships in 1924 and 1925. The NHL beckoned, and Waters joined the expansion Pittsburgh Pirates, where despite a weak defensive team, he set records and displayed his remarkable skill. In 1928, Waters made a pivotal move to the New York Americans, where he turned the team's fortunes around. But his time with the Americans, it was memorable. He was surrounded by a formidable defense, including Lionel Conacher, Joe Simpson, and Red Dutton. Waters' stature didn't stop him from commanding respect. He was even named the team captain in the 1932-33 season. Unfortunately, a hernia during a game in 1937 ended Waters' glittering career. He passed away in 1957, but his legacy will live in hockey lore forever. 8. The Zamboni. Now, let's dive into the history of the Zamboni, the machine that revolutionized ice rink maintenance, and the man behind it, Frank Zamboni. Born in 1901 in Eureka, Utah, Frank and his family moved to Idaho, where his knack for mechanics took root. By 1920, Southern California became his new playground, as he and his brother Lawrence joined their older brother George's auto repair business. Their journey turned cool when they started an electrical service business catering to local dairies, installing refrigeration units to keep milk fresh. They started manufacturing block ice for wholesalers to spot an opportunity in the growing produce industry. But as technology improved, the demand for block ice began to reduce. So what does a tinkerer do? They innovate, of course. Spotting the rising popularity of ice skating and seeing a lack of rinks in Southern California, Frank, Lawrence, and their cousin decided to build their own. The Iceland skating rink in Paramount was born in 1939 and still stands today, just a stone's throw away from the Zamboni factory. The creation of the rink led to another discovery: the need for a faster, more efficient way to resurface the ice. This need paved the way for the Zamboni as we know it, forever changing the world of ice sports. The next time you watch a Zamboni effortlessly gliding over an ice rink, remember Frank J. Zamboni, the man who turned necessity into a legendary invention. 9. The Losers. Let's dive right into the next chapter, the story of the 1980 Winnipeg Jets, an episode steeped in NHL history for the wrong reasons. Kicking off their second season in the NHL, the Jets had high hopes after an inaugural season that saw them finish 20th in the 21-team league. The team was peppered with young talent, including defenseman Dave Babich and Olympic star Dave Christian, providing a glimmer of hope. The season began promisingly with an impressive 6-2 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. But little did anyone know that this triumph would be the team's last taste of victory for over 2 months. The Jets plummeted into a losing streak of 30 consecutive games, the longest in NHL history. Promising games slipped through their fingers as leads evaporated in the closing minutes. The team's morale was reduced and frustration began to fill the locker room. The streak finally ended on the brink of Christmas when the Jets took down the Colorado Rockies 5-4. The locker room celebration echoed the euphoria of a Stanley Cup victory, a testament to their relief. Despite the devastating season, the Jets held on to their promising youngsters, refusing to trade them for older, more experienced players. 10. The E-Bug. The world of hockey has a unique concept: an emergency backup goaltender. Imagine being an ordinary player watching the NHL from your couch each week, and suddenly you're thrust into the heart of the action. Bizarre, right? Yet this unique NHL rule allows it, paving the way for unforgettable moments. E-Bugs come into play when a team's 2 goaltenders go down with injury, illness, or suspension, and there's no possible way to get a replacement from the minor leagues. These backup players are usually not on full NHL contracts, often signing amateur tryout contracts, meaning they don't receive the usual league salary. Yet they get to be a part of an NHL game, a dream come true for many. Matthew Berlin, for instance, had to delay studying for his psychology midterm when he was called to back up the Edmonton Oilers. Scott Foster, an accountant by trade, saved all 7 shots he faced when he was drafted into the Chicago Blackhawks, and David Ayers, a 42-year-old Zamboni driver, famously won a game for the Carolina Hurricanes, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. While it's certainly a strange concept to see non-professional players participate in a professional game, the E-Bugs have become an integral part of NHL folklore. As we wrap up, we leave you with a question. If you were in an NHL game, what object would you toss onto the ice to make your mark? Or would you rather swat a bat in midair and earn a legendary title like the Batman? Comment below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.